So this was kind of interesting to me. Okay. Um, so a couple weeks ago, right, I talked about the Penn State goalie who, um, where I can't remember who they're playing now. Sorry, I've watched too many clips this week, and my mind is an erased blank slate. But Penn State wasn't. They were getting hung up. Their defender, and we're seeing more and more of this. Okay, we're seeing more of this in collegiate lacrosse, and this will trickle down into high school lacrosse. All right, but so the idea here is that, as a general rule, most coaches tell their goalies stay in the cage. Right, that's the general rule. And if your goalie leaves the cage for whatever reason, most likely on a clear, but far be it that they go out playing any sort of defense. Everybody's like sphincter, like just puckers up, right? Like they're just like, they could break, they could make diamonds, right? There's everybody's all nervous, and there's moms on the sideline yelling, "Get back in the cage!" Like, we have to get away from that, okay? And what I equate it to, I like to equate things to other sports. It's kind of like, a football team running like a fake punt, and now the punter has to throw the ball. And you've seen sometimes where the coach throws, does that. For those of you guys that are football people, you'll know, like, coach does a fake punt, and then it's like so blatantly obvious that the punter has like never thrown a football ever. And it's the most pathetic thing, and it fails miserably. And people are like, see, that guy should never like throw a ball ever again. And that's the wrong way to think. Like, what athletes need to do in games is they need to withstand challenges and take advantage of opportunities, right? And so yes, we have positional people, right? And every team has that. And to use football again, like, there's pocket passers, and then there's mobile passers, right? Well, in lacrosse, in the sport of field lacrosse, the lacrosse goalie of the future, and I got one of my shirts on this week. The lacrosse goalie of the future is, in my opinion, is going to be more multifaceted and will have more arrows in the quiver. And one of those arrows in the quiver is the ability to play defense. And so let me pull this up. And now I'm totally confused. Where the hell did I put that? I got so many tabs open. Oh my God. Okay, hang tight. We're going to go over here. Yo, boom. All right. So if you saw this clip on Instagram this week, leave me a comment. That'd be awesome. So this clip, I'll just play it through. I'll play it through live. I think I just have it videoed once. Oh man, I got so many tabs open. I hope my computer doesn't go nuts here. So this is Ohio State, and the ball is stuck at X. The Michigan goalie goes out to play defense, but the guy gets the pass off, and then they get scored on real easy. And so I wanted to pick this apart a little bit and show kind of what needed to happen here. So the first question to ask is like, well, should the goalie be playing defense at this time? And so in this game, like, if you look at the score, it's 12-8 in the fourth quarter, and there's, the fourth quarter's just begun. So you're down by 4. And what's interesting is that like, the Michigan goalie is, this is a little bit dicey, but is playing not as good as like or is better than the Ohio goalie. Am I doing this right? 25 shots for 29 shots for Ohio State, and they've only scored they've scored 12 times. So 29 shots, they've scored 12 times. So that's just what? That's like 45% ish, 40ish percent. So you got to make something happen here, right? So the goalie's making it. So what I'm not disappointed that the goalie went out and tried to do this. I'm disappointed in how it happened, because you can tell here that this has not been coached into this team. And I think in the third clip tonight, I'm going to be talking about another clip, and you'll see the similar thing type of happen. Yeah, I got to slow down. I'm talking too fast. Right. Similar thing happens. Right. And we're just going to see more and more teams do this, where they get the defense hung up, or even if they don't get the defense hung up and they dodge from X, utilizing the goalie as another defender. Because what do we have on, if we're even strength and we're on defense, right? We have 7 defensive players. That includes the goalie. and 6 offensive players. So we have an advantage technically. So what what has happened in the sport, what I sorry, yeah, I know that whatever. Don't get me started, Jonathan. I misspoke. Whatever. But the deal here is there's a moment, there's an instant where we can make this work, because what you'll see in those Penn State clips I showed a couple weeks ago is that the longer a player sits at X with the ball, and then the offense goes into their kind of whatever their setup is. And every team might have something a little bit differently, but basically there's just like a little bit of a weave and a pick, and all of a sudden someone's free, and the attackman at X just kind of, or the midi at X, throws the ball out front, and it's an easy catch. Everybody's got their heads turned around, and it's an easy catch and shot and score, whatever. Okay. So the idea here is that, okay, if this goalie is going to go out and play defense right here, the defender who is right here needs to go the other way. Okay. And so back in the day when there wasn't a shot clock, and we're going like way back, if this happened, you would have a goalie go on one pipe and the defender would go to the other pipe. And then at the same time, they would rush the attackman. The hope then in that moment is that everybody who's playing defense in front of the cage is locked off as tight as they can be, and nobody's getting picked and all that stuff. But that allowed the defense now to act as a double team. And so for those of you that have active good, athletic goalies, male or female, we can do this. So like Rob, Ashby's a good athletic goalie. He can do this, but you have to do it in combination with the D. Okay. With a D. So this defender here, what happens is he doesn't go. So now basically what you've done is you've sent the goalie to play defense. And a good way to view this, like what I try to do with teams and goalies that are athletic and know what's going on, is I try to talk about the defensive half of the field. Like we have 7 defenders. I'm not saying we have middies and we have 2 short sticks and all. And like, no, it's like we're all defensive players, because then that takes the, oh, you're the goalie, you don't go. Like it's just like we're just playing D, because I believe that the lacrosse goalie of the future is going to be that type of player, and now we can do more stuff, because this is going to evolve. Like this play is going to happen for the next like 10 years, and nobody's going to like coach it right, and nobody's going to attack it like it's like I feel it should be attacked, and it's just going to end up in these slam dunk goals all the time. So this goalie actually lets a really nice poke check in on that the ball carrier here. Okay, let me just change my FPS. So he sets a nice little poke check right in the cuff of that lower glove. Boom. And unfortunately, he gets there just a hair late. Okay. But see, he's already trying to retreat. The job here is not to retreat. The best advice I ever got, and this was like in 8th grade when I went to the Brown lacrosse camp, right? I'm playing on the the roof of the field house at Brown University. Dom Starsia was the coach of Brown at the time. Pete Lasagna was the assistant coach. And the goalie, whose name I still can't remember, was like, listen, if you leave the crease, when you go, you go. You go 100%, right? You don't go like halfway or 75% or like 85. You go because you made a decision. And what bites the Michigan goalie here is he kind of just goes half-ass. The other part here is that now this player who is standing in front of the cage needs to act like a goalie, but we have rules against that if you're not the goalie, right? So this is a problem. So this player who has probably never been coached on this, okay? You can tell by the way this evolved that Michigan has not worked on this at all, and the goalie decided to kind of take it in their own hands. But somebody probably said the goalie, go ahead. But no, you don't just send the goalie; you send the defender too, because why? We've got an extra player. It's a 7-on-6, and I don't care if this is I don't even care if this is man up or man down here. The point is we send them both, and we double. Well, what happens if that player rolls away? Well, you keep doubling him. You keep doubling him until you get to safety, or you strip the ball, which is what should happen. That's the good result of a double team, right? So now we've wasted the goalies left for the poke check. This, which again has a low level of success, right? Like we do know that, right? We do know that. Although I've seen goalies get out there and just get after it and throw like wrap checks and rusty gates and all sorts of stuff, and or ice picks. I was great at ice picks. I would let an attackman beat me because I wasn't all that quick, and then all of a sudden I would just be like, ice pick the back, and I'd get the ball and we'd go. So this thoroughly disappointed me. Now what ends up happening is that all of your defenders, all right, all of your defenders are they can't see the ball. All right. Now what should not be happening here is none of these defenders, and I don't think that happens here. So this defender here is face guarding pretty well. There should be no thought in any of these players' minds that they are sliding to anything. That's not is, and if that is in their head, again, then this has been horribly coached. This has been horribly coached by Michigan, right? So a little pass comes, and this is a well-timed pass. Like he sees him just curl. This is like a timing route almost. The ball is already en route, right? And there he is, and he's going to make this easy little catch on a shorty and behind the back. And now this defender is even more useless here. He'd be better off, like, if you're that, you know, I don't, I'll be honest. I don't know how the ref would call this because I believe there's still a rule in the rule book that says that you can only have a goalie in front of the ball. Like in this, it's not like in the 90s where a defender would jump behind a goalie to make a save. That we took that out for commotio cordis rules, right? Which is unfortunate because there were some great times when defenders would make saves, like Beardsley and those guys. So then this is like an easy behind the back, and the goalie now looks even worse, right? So and this guy's going. This defender probably doesn't know what the hell just happened, right? Doesn't know what happened. So what should happen? Okay, like I said, the there the second this defender understands that he's going to be hung up, okay, and I don't know how this evolves. I can't see the clip doesn't show me how this evolves, but the second that defender knows that they're hung up, there's got to be some sort of word, like some sort of trigger word between the goalie and the long pole and the goalie, right? So because the goalie's watching the ball, he doesn't know where the defender is just yet. He may assume he's right behind him, but you just got to be careful. And so that defender needs to call something like left. Um, so basically that the defender saying like where he's gonna go, right? Because the goalie, the rule on like a double team, I don't want to say it's a rule, but it's like if your goalie's right-handed, you're a stronger defender if you go to your stick side, right? So the goalie does that here. He goes around to his right, all right, and that long pole has to go to his left, right, or opposite the goalie, okay, because the defender should be able to kind of switch hands, and then the idea there is that you're just creating this V to funnel that player and just get on his hand so he can't make a pass, right? Um, because you just can't. You're just going to get picked apart here if you don't do that, right? So, there's been some goalies that have been really like Alex Rode from Virginia is really good at this. But again, a lot of the clips I remember of Alex Rode running out, like there weren't really any pulls with him either. And so again, that's not how this should be run. There's a moment, and you'll see in the last clip tonight when the clip that I'm showing tonight or later. Actually, I'll show it now because let me just fast forward to it, see if I can get to it. All right. So here's another version of it. Um, so in this situation, the shorty, so this is a shorty on a short behind the cage at X, right? And this is Maryland versus Rutgers. But here's an opportunity. This is a little bit more advanced, but again, if we're 7-on-6 and we have got an athletic goalie, let's use him, right? Let's use him or her. Well, not her. But the idea here is that this Maryland defender or this, so there's the dodge. And by the way, the Rutgers goalie has really solid steps when the ball's behind the cage, right? So I'm all for this pivot. They're doing a good job. A little early there, but this kid's quick. So now the second this defender gets hosed, and hosed is a technical term for has lost their jockstrap and they're picking it up, and the attackman is now running full speed the other way. That's what hosed means. Okay. But it can apply all over the field. And it's also gender neutral. So it's men and women and anything in between, whatever. So the idea here is that the second this Maryland player now loses his defender, who's over here going like, what the hell just happened? And some of the comments on this Instagram post were great. There's like, somebody get that defender a map. I thought that was awesome. Okay. But right here, there's an opportunity for the goalie now to just get out and play defense and beat this guy to goal line, which I know is advanced, but it beats, I believe that a goalie, a good athletic goalie, can take a risk and go to try to play to force defense on this attackman at or before goal line. I believe that is a better risk to take than to, often to just let an attackman come uncontested above goal line. And, and this is kind of a lame goal, and I'll talk about it in the third clip. But I do believe that there's an opportunity here where this goalie can just go out and play D, and then what'll happen is that, um, there might be a slide like this bugs me to no end. You are a Division 1 long pole with a $400 stick. Use it. Don't come with a slash. Lead with a freaking poke check. It's the only chance you have, right? Like, where are the defensive coaches at the D1 level who could teach some, pardon me, some goddamn fundamentals? Okay. Because you've done nothing to help your team here. Nothing to help your team. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to come with a slash, right? And oh, I'm not even going to get there before the shot goes out. Like, he whacks him in the head. You moron. Like, come on. Like, just lead with a poke check. Get your hand in that get your stick in that bottom hand and help your goalie out, right? You're not trying to be a third goalie. Ugh. Yeah, yeah. Grumpy Coach Edwards. That's me. All right. So I believe now, for some of you that have like young goalies, okay, your goalie could be, if your goalie's like athletic and they're smart, they can be all over this. Like, they literally, like, and this is why, like, I tell coaches, like, don't just, when you're running like fast break drills or one-on-one drills and you don't want the goalie in the cage for whatever reason, don't stick your goalie like on the side of the field doing like crappy long, like misfit 2-ball passes with like the other goalie. No, have them play some D, right? Have them play some offense. I don't care. Have them just learn, because the lacrosse goalie of the future that understands this type of stuff, right? Who can play some defense and who can understand a good like double team. Uh the world's their oyster, man. Like, seriously. Seriously. So do that. Do that. Because I liked what this Michigan goalie did. I liked the risk that he took. I don't like how poorly coached the rest of the team was. And, if there's a coach watching this and going like, we coach our guys to do it, and they just didn't execute. No, you didn't coach it. That's why they didn't execute it. And maybe you said it once or twice, but you didn't say it enough or well enough that it could be executed. And there's no freaking excuse, because you're a Division 1 program. Let's go. Okay. This blows my mind. And this is where some people who listen to me, they're like, wow, Coach Edwards is like, all over these like, yeah, I am, because this would not happen in Division 1 basketball, right? If you ran a similar type of like concept, wouldn't happen in Division 1 basketball, wouldn't happen in Division 1 football, it wouldn't happen in Division 1 baseball, most likely. Like, if if you ever seen like a baseball team, I don't watch a lot of baseball, but man, I love like trick plays and hidden ball tricks and stuff like that. I love that stuff. And this is kind of falls in that realm. This is like secondary or tertiary coaching levels, right? You're going to get your offense set and your clears and what you're going to do off a face off and, man up, man down, whatever. But then you got to get into like, okay, what are we going to do for like hidden ball tricks? What are we going to do for like advanced, like double teams on defense? Like, that's all stuff you got to get to, right? And so that drives me nuts that this is where Division One lacrosse to me is, sometimes it's not nearly, and this is what I'm trying to impart with a lot of you guys from an athletic perspective. There's so many things lacking in Division One lacrosse, let alone Division Two and Division Three. You'll see the next clip when we talk about Andrew Miller's goalie goal. Like, it just blew my mind. Okay, Lynchburg, I know, I get it. You're Division Three, no big deal. But seriously, teach your attack how to play, like, run a freaking fast break. Okay. All right, guys, thanks for watching and thanks for listening wherever you are. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you like this, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. When you're ready, head on over to lacrossegoalieuniversity.com/coaching so I can work with you and your goalie. And while you're at it, check out athletespecific.com to learn more about mental performance and high performance. You may not know this, but I work with athletes in a variety of sports. Lacrosse is my love, but man, I love athletes and the families who support them. So head on over to athletespecific.com, check it out. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.